Good morning or happy lunchtime, everyone. It is Wednesday at noon. And if you're finding me here, then you know, well, maybe you know, or you're finding me later on the replay, you have found Sarah Lynn Duque with Sarah Lynn Stamps. And every Wednesday at noon, I go live here. Most Wednesdays at noon, I go live here for Cards and Coffee. And what we do at Cards and Coffee is just a quick 15-minute or less card to give you some ideas of how to make really cute things with a few supplies in a little amount of time, and different tips of how you can kind of step those cards up if you'd like to. Today I actually have two cards to show you. I'll be showing you one and then showing you a different version of the same card that I created, just so that you have more ideas. But anyways, if you're here with me, welcome. Oh, sorry, I have a little bit of trouble with my phone holder is on the same desk that I stamp on, and I got to try to figure that out a little bit because it seems to cause, I think my desk is just not stable enough. Just seems to cause a little bit of shaking. Anyways, we don't need a whole lot for this card. What we're going to need is a piece of cardstock. So this is thick, basic white cardstock. This is going to be the base of your card. And this measures 8.5 by 5.5. So we have that. We're going to need just a scrap of white cardstock. This is just regular basic white. Now I've got a scrap of designer series paper, and I've chosen the Penguins paper here. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. And then out of that same designer series paper, the Penguin Playmates, I believe it's called, from Sale-A-Bration, I've also cut out two pieces of cardstock measuring 5.5 by 4.25. So this is the same size as the card front. So I have two of those, and you could use any of your favorite patterns or any of the designer series paper, whether it's from Sale-A-Bration or the mini catalog, the annual catalog, any double-sided. Actually, it doesn't even have to be double-sided, but all of our designer series paper is really pretty, and it has two really nice patterns. And all of the packages, the thing that I love the most about designer series paper from Stampin' Up is that all of the packages of paper are meant to coordinate together. So you can mix up the different patterns and designs and colors in them effortlessly. And that's how they're made to be. So that's what we need for our card. Two pieces of designer series paper, a card base, and a scrap. And then we're going to use a little scrap of designer series paper too. So you are going to need a card or a pair of scissors or a trimmer for this card. So I have my Stampin' Up trimmer here, but you could also just use a pair of scissors and a ruler. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut this card from one side to the other at a diagonal. So if you are particular and you'd like to see where you're cutting first, you could draw that line with a pencil, or you can just wing it. I'm kind of a wing it sort of person, so I'm going to just wing it. I just gotta kind of decide here which one I want to go on the top and the bottom. Okay, I think I'm going to cut this one, the trees. And this one I'm actually just going to leave as a full piece. So this one here, I'm going to cut from the left-hand side over to the right-hand side on an angle. So you could cut it down this way if you want your angle to go that way. You could cut it that way. It's really up to you. I'm gonna, I think, cut this one from lower on the left to higher on the right. So all that I do here is I just kind of eyeball it. So I want my left-hand side to be about here, and I want my right-hand side, well, I might make it a little bit lower, maybe right about here, and my right-hand side to be a little bit higher up here. So I'm just gonna go kind of like that. I just put it in my cutter, and you really can't go wrong. Like if you've got a steeper cut or a flatter cut, they're all gonna look stunning, and it really doesn't make a difference how this cut lines up. So you can be as particular or as not unparticular, is that the word? Unparticular as you like. And that's all we need our paper trimmer for. So this little scrap, I'm gonna set this aside for another project. Okay, so let's take our papers here, and we're going to take our card base and fold this in half, just right in the middle. So you could score that at 4.25 to help you with that if you'd like to, or just take your bone folder and give it a nice crisp little edge like that. We are going to glue on this cardstock here. And now I have a little bit of a bend here at the bottom, so I want to hide that part. So I'm going to put that at the bottom corner because we're not going to see that. And I'm just using my Stampin' Seal here. You can use your liquid glue or whatever you have on hand. So put that at the bottom, Sarah Lynn. And we're going to just match this up to the card front like this. All right, so we've covered up our card front. We're going to take this piece, and with Stampin' Seal, this really is a simple card, but it features all of the beautiful colors and patterns in the designer series paper, and it will work magically with pretty much any of our designer series paper. So I'll give you another example here after we put this one together. Okay, so I'm going to line this up with the side and the bottom, and then it just goes on like that. So if you really wanted to conserve paper, you could also cut your back sheet a little bit shorter. I just cut both of them the same size as the front, so then I have flexibility about which colors I wanted to use, and what slant I was going to put on there, so I didn't really have to worry about that too much. But you can do that whichever way you want. So I'm going to take Calypso Coral here, just in the regular classic ink, and I just punched or clicked at the back with my fingers, if you saw that, to open it up. And I'm going to actually use the Merriest Moments stamp set. And if you haven't had a chance to see this in action, you can go back and watch my live from last Saturday it was, and where I showed you this whole bundle and the dies that come with it and how to use it. But today we're just going to take the Season's Greetings out of here. And I know we're doing Christmas cards. Can you believe it? I said I wasn't doing Christmas, but you know, sometimes you just gotta. All right, so when I put on my photopolymer stamps like this, they tend to, especially the long, narrow ones, they tend to kind of bend, and which is a great thing. So if you wanted to kind of bend your greeting up, you could put this on here and kind of wrap it up, and now you've got it sort of, you know, sort of on a little oval like that, right? If you wanted to have it rounded, you could really shape that to be whatever. I want mine to be straight. So because they tend to bend, I just stick them down on a piece of, onto my work surface, and then I put my block on it like that to pick it up. That's going to make sure that your photopolymer stamp stays straight and it's not getting all twisted when you lay it onto your block. So I really think that that's a helpful thing to know. So I've stamped this up with the Calypso Coral, and I'm just going to stick this on here like so. Season's Greetings. And I'm going to just cut out the sentiment with my paper snips. So you could use your trimmer again if you're really particular about how this is going to look. I'm not that particular, because I think in the small one, you got to remember, this is a handmade card. So, you know, we're not striving necessarily for perfection. But also on your sentiments, you can kind of just follow along the top of the words a little bit, and or the bottom, whichever ones you're doing, and cut it pretty straight. It's not that difficult. All right, so let's put that to the side. Now we've got our greeting here. I'm going to take my card now, and I need a piece of ribbon. So the ribbon I'm going to use is the Glitter Organdy ribbon here from the new Holiday Mini Catalog. And I'm going to take a pretty good size piece here. So let's see how big this is. This one measures about almost 10 inches. And so I'm going to fold this in half. And so what I've done here now, let me go and pull this scrap up. So out of the Penguin Playmates, they've got these adorable little figures here on some of the paper that really can just cut out. You could fussy cut them out and put them on a card or however, but we're sticking to easy today. So what I did is I took a circle die, and you could use a punch, you could use a square punch, you could just cut it out as a square. I used a circle today, and I took a circle out of the layering circles dies. Now this is I think one of the very basic die sets. So if you're just getting into die cutting and you're not sure where to start, basic shapes like layering circles or rectangles, different frames, the scallop and contour dies, all of those types of really basic sort of shapes and things that layer together are a really great way to start. And these circles, you just can't go wrong. You've got some here that have flat edges, and you have some that have scalloped edges, and they're meant to kind of layer together. So if you punched out, for example, this one that's a straight edge, you could cut out the next size in a scalloped edge and then layer these two together on a card. So that's kind of the intent. You don't have to layer them, and in this case I didn't, but this is a really great basic die set, and it comes with a lot of dies, as you can see here. Okay, let me just put these away before I lose them all. All right, so what I did here is I took one of those circle dies and I actually punched out the penguin and ended up with this cute little guy. So isn't he adorable? So just super easy, and this would be a great way to use up any scraps of paper that you have as well. Just cutting them out and adding them on this way. So what I did, actually I'm going to go back this way. I'm going to turn this little guy over, and you've probably seen me do this before. I just add a little bit of adhesive to the back, and I'm going to fold my ribbon in half just like this, and then I'm going to stick it to the back of my penguin. So I just want to make sure my penguin was up the right way, and so I'm going to stick it down like this, and then I can kind of see how far it's hanging over. So I know I just want it over a little bit on this side, and I want it mostly out on this side. So then I can stick it to the back, and now I have my ribbon where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back of my penguin to add him to my card. And I might just stick one actually over the ribbon so that if the ribbon comes off, it's not going to actually, you know, come off. And I'm going to stick this right over here, just overlapping the top and the bottom. So now if you don't want your ribbon sticking out that far, you can place it however you like. I think it's kind of cute. So and I'm going to just stick that out. And then it's just sticking out here, that little glitter ribbon. So to finish this card, we're going to add this sentiment on here. And so I left it a little long so I could kind of see what I wanted to do with it. And I think I'm just going to trim this down a little bit on each end and make it a little bit shorter. All right. Again, we'll use some dimensionals here just because we are adding it on top of that. So this side you'll see is going to go on top of there. I don't need dimensionals on that end. I need dimensionals on the greetings end. So I'm going to add one there, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of Stampin' Seal on that side there, because that side's going to be flat against the penguin that's already lifted up here. All right, let's see where we want to stick this guy. I think I'm going to stick it right in the middle actually. And then you can kind of play with your ribbon and put it how you want it. And I kind of want it to be sticking out the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go like that. And there we go. We have a really quick and easy, beautiful, I think beautiful card. I'm just featuring some of our designer series paper. And I mean, I love these colors. These are totally me. So kind of maybe non-traditional with our Calypso Coral in there, but just a fun winter card. Now let me show you the other one that I created here. And this one here was using, let me see what this paper's called. Actually, I don't have it here. This is the Out of the Sale-A-Bration catalog. This paper here with the deer, it coordinates with the deer punch that's in our mini catalog, but you can get this paper for free with a $60 purchase. So this is the Peaceful Prints paper, and it has like little reindeer on it, and that's sort of where I cut out one of the reindeer here. Now this Penguin Playmates paper is also a free option when you spend $60 during Sale-A-Bration. So Sale-A-Bration is running right now, right through to the end of September. So if you don't have this catalog, just leave me a note in the comments and I'll make sure to get one to you if you're in Canada. This would apply to you. There's a number of great featured items in here that you can get for $60 and then a couple with $120 purchase. And you've seen me play with some of these before. But this is good until the end of September. So both of these were created with some of the free products that you can earn over the next, well, month and a half, I guess. So yeah, but you can use this even with regular designer series paper, not just the Sale-A-Bration stuff. So you can see this one I cut differently. So this one I cut across from the left and down on the right side. So like I said, you can really do whatever your fancy, or if you cut it, and that's what happened in this case. I cut it and then I decided I liked the pattern on the other side, and so I flipped it. And so then it went the other way, but I think that that's completely acceptable. And this one I put on a red card base to kind of match up with our reindeer here, so just pretty. So anyways, lots of fun, easy stamping, something that we do here every Wednesday at lunch, just something simple and cute, hopefully cute, something that you guys enjoy doing. I also just wanted to mention to you quickly here today about the Pretty Pumpkins class. The deadline to register for that is coming up. Today's the 18th, so today's what, Wednesday? So Friday is the deadline to register for this class. So if you are interested in the Pretty Pumpkins class, please send me an email and then I can send you the details. There's also more details here on Facebook under events or on my Stampin' Up website as well. If you wanted to see that stamp set, these aren't cards from my class, but these are some of the cards that were created with the dies and the stamps from the Pretty Pumpkins set. So this will give you an idea of sort of what the style of those stamps are. and some of the similar projects that we might make. But it'll definitely have some of this beautiful brushed metal paper in there for sure. But anyways, if you want to sign up for that class, let me know before Friday. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a lot of fun, and I hope you'll go out and create some of your own cards with designer series paper and post them here so that we can share them together. I'd love to see what you guys create. So thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.